We pray that you may guide and protect us, give us the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, so that when we go back to school, we may remember whatever the teachers taught us from today until we finish. In Jesus' mighty name we have prayed. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Elijah. Elijah, I'm tasking you to find the meaning of your name. It has a beautiful biblical meaning, which you ought to know, Elijah. Okay, so as others come in, thank you. Welcome on board. This is Teacher Nangoma Druscilla. I am here to give you an overview of the geography curriculum. The geography in the new competence-based curriculum. Okay, that is what I'm going to do today. So before I do that, I am sure you have heard of geography. You have heard rumors. People have told you what it is like. Maybe people have told you it is hard. I need to get your opinion on what is geography. When you hear the word geography, what comes to your mind as a student joining Senior 1 and having their first geography lesson at senior1.org? What do you understand? Yes, Isabella.
Geography is the study of places and the relationship between people and their environment.
Amazing. Wow. She's saying it is the study of people. Isabella, we're going slow. The study of people.
And their environment.
And their environment. And how? And how they relate. Not so? So Isabella is telling us when you talk of geography, she thinks of studying people and the environment. Now she has brought in two things, people and environment. That is how Isabella defines geography. Let me hear from someone else. What is geography? Can I see a hand up? We've had this long word, geography. What is it? It is among the compulsory subjects at secondary school in ordinary level. What is it? So Isabella, first she thinks it is the study. Here we are going to study about how people relate with their environment. Yes, Jovial? Jovial,
geography is the study of physical features on the earth.
Amazing. It is the study of physical features on earth. So now we have environment, we have man, and we have physical features. Good. Any other idea? Any other idea of how best can we define geography? As you come into secondary school, people are saying you're going to study man and his environment. You're going to study physical features. Any other ideas on what geography is? Any other idea? So should we take only those two? Okay, if that is how you have decided to take us, let's go with that. So when you look at geography, I want to take it from Jovia. We are looking at, it is actually the study of man and his environment. Now, when I talk of environment, Jovia has mentioned it. What is an environment? When I talk of environment, what do we mean? What are we talking about under environment? What is environment? This long word, distracting. Yes, Isabella.
Environment are things that surrounding man.
Things that surround us. Not so? Surrounding. What about woman? Maybe it's just about man, Isabella. The things that surround man. What about woman? Chantal, does woman have environment? Joel, Waninda, what is environment? Isabella has given a good opinion, but she's saying the things that surround man, and I'm wondering, does woman have surrounding? So woman does not have environment? Hey, have I confused you? Okay, so it's, someone is defending the woman. Yes, apparently we didn't have a surrounding. Yes, Jovio.
The environment is man and its surrounding. Man, like a general term to put also woman, eh?
Oh, Okay, so when we say man, we are combining man and woman. At first, I was starting to think for us women don't have surrounding. So Jovia has defined environment for us as the things that surround man. Now, I want you to look around you. Whether you're holding your phone under a tree, near a swimming pool, what are the things that are surrounding you? If you're a man or a woman, they've said when they say man, they mean both man and woman. So what are the things that are surrounding you? Yes, Philip. Philip, unmute.
Trees.
Trees. You're surrounded by trees. Good. Isabella.
Birds.
Birds. And they screaming in your ears. Jovia has birds around her. Are they chicken or just birds?
They are chicken.
They are chicken. Okay. Jovia. What is around her?
Chair, table,
Chairs. She has chairs, tables, cups, and plates.
television,
Television. Okay. Yes, Philip. Houses. Dennis is saying he's surrounded by
Building.
houses. Oh my God. Please, senior ones, in the new competence-based curriculum, we all participate, okay? Don't come here and you sit like a tourist, even tourists ask questions. Nicole, Abigail, I want to hear from you. You mean you're just surrounded by air? In your surrounding, what is, yes, Chantal.
forest.
You're surrounded by forests. Okay, that is
I'm
good. And you
surrounded by
surrounded
bird.
by chairs. Someone is in the sitting room, surrounded by chairs. Patricia, what is around you?
Grass.
Grass.
I'm surrounded by grass.
You're surrounded by grass. Patricia, caterpillars are going to walk on you. Timon. Timon, what is surrounding you? Timon. Timon could be in bed. Tony, what is surrounding you? What are you surrounded by? Okay, so all the things here that you've mentioned that surround you, in geography, we look at those as, we term them as the environment. Evans is surrounded by chairs, televisions, tables, Timon. Clearly, we're in the sitting room. So all those things that surround man are what we call the environment. Now, when you look at those things, when you look at, we have chairs, tables, someone mentioned the dining room, buildings, all those ones are what we call, the ones that are made by man are called the physical environment. The things that surround us that are man-made are called the human environment. Whereas the ones that are naturally occurring, like the trees, the forest, some of you are surrounded by water bodies, we call them the physical environment. So in geography, when we talk of environment, we look at physical and human environment. So the things that surround us, when you sit down and you start studying them, that process of studying the physical and human environment is what we refer to as geography. Good. Now let's move on. When I talk of geography, let's look at what things that comprise the physical environment. I think we've mentioned them, the trees, the bushes, those things that surround the soil. Some of you forgot to even mention soil. You're actually standing on soil. Your house is sitting on soil. The rocks, the lakes and rivers, the mountains, all that is what constitutes the physical environment. So in geography, we group the environment into two. Then we have the human, what man puts around him. We have buildings, you have those roads, the swimming pools, the railway lines, the cities, all those things that are made by man. In geography, we call them the human environment. So geography is grouped into branches. Branches are like the groupings of geography. When you look at geography in secondary school, we are going to look at two, just like we looked at the physical geography and human geography, or physical features and human features. We group them into two. That is when you have physical geography and human geography. Okay, so I want someone to explain to me, when I talk of physical geography, what features am I talking about? What are some of the things that make up physical geography? If you have to study, put this into topics, physical and human geography. What are the things I expect to study in physical geography? Jovia gave us an answer, physical features, such as, what are the things we expect to study in physical geography? I want hands up.
What do you mean? Examples?
Examples, yes, Jovia. Examples of things we study under physical geography. Good question. What are
Coral
the
reefs,
coral reefs? Okay.
mountains, hills,
Mountains, hills. See, Jovia, I'm
lakes.
mentioning all the answers.
Okay,
Let
let
me hear
me.
from someone. Yes, let me hear from someone else as well. Elijah, Jovia has left a slot for you. Physical geography, what are things we look at? Yes, someone's hand is up. Yes, my dear.
Rivers,
Rivers,
lakes,
lakes. So lakes and rivers. Good, Nicole, thank you. Isabella, when you talk of
The
physical
earth.
geography, the earth. The earth. Good. Yes, Philip. Philip.
Animals.
Animals. Yes,
Animals.
Flora and fauna. So animals are going to be called fauna, then the flora are the vegetation. Okay. So in geography, we look at, that is what we look at under physical geography. We look at how are rivers formed? How are these lakes formed? How are these mountains? How did they come to exist? If I'm to look at a rock, what are the types of rocks? What are the types of soil? There can be soil favor crop growing. What vegetation types do we have? Then there is one you're avoiding to mention, the coastal geomorphology. What do you understand by coast? What is the coast? Because it is also another physical geography topic. We look at the coast. When I talk of the coast, what comes to your mind? I want you, by the end of this lesson, you must be able to tell your parents what you studied. At least you must have learned something. Yes, Philip, when I talk of the coast, what comes to your mind? Philip, did you just forget the hand up? Okay. Coast. Chantal, who has been to the coast before? Because in geography, we also study the coast. Who has been to the coast? Dennis, have you been to the coast? If yes, what have you seen at the coast? Tony, have you been to the coast? Timon, Tony,
I've been to the coast.
Yes. What did you see at the coast? Even Evans and Patricia have been to the coast. So what did they see at the coast? Yes. Dennis, you're the one talking? What did you see at the coast?
I saw it's an area where the lake ends and then the land begins from there.
The land begins where the lake ends. Do we have such areas in Uganda where the lake ends and then the land begins? I think we have those places here in Uganda. What are they called?
Maybe a beach.
A beach. Amazing. So when I talk of the coast, I'm looking at things like the beach, those cliffs we find near the coast. We're looking at the coral reefs near the coast. We look at things like the stamp, the stack. We are going to enjoy geography in senior one, my dear students. So, Patricia has been to the coast as well. What did you see? Joel, sorry about that. Try and clear your audio. I think others can't get me. Joel is having a problem. Jovio, you've been to the coast. Let me hear you.
I've never been there, but me, I think that like the coast is like it's like a line separating water and land.
Okay, that is like a line. So it's not really a line, but it's just an area that's where the lake ends, or the water, the land, water body ends, and then we walk into the land. That area is what we're calling a coast. So at that coast, we have very many features that are formed, and the study of those features is what we call coastal geomorphology. The features we find between land and the lake around there is what you're looking at as coastal geomorphology. So all that is what constitutes physical geography. Okay, and do you realize that most of these physical features under physical geography are natural? They're made by God, they're naturally occurring. Man, if man has influence on them, it's not as much. Okay, they exist in their natural setting. How about under human geography? What are we going to look at under human geography? When I talk of towns and cities, which topic can we look at under here? Towns and cities. Do we have towns in Kampala, rather in Uganda? Do we have towns? So human geography is to do with things that, I want someone to define for us. What do you think human geography is about? What is human geography? Jovia, mute your mic, my dear. Abigail, you're welcome. What is human geography? When you hear human geography, we looked at human things in the human environment. Okay, so what is human geography? Someone's hand is up. Yes, Abigail.
Human geography. Human geography is the branch of geography dealing with how human activity affects or is influenced by the Earth's surface.
Amazing. So you're looking at how human activities are influenced by the Earth. Abigail, an example. How do you think the Earth influences human activities? Abigail, can you give us, do you think it is true that the Earth influences our activities? If yes, how? Yes, Jovia.
Sammy, I don't know the meaning of
You don't
human
know of
igundi, but
human.
I know that it has something to do with those things of deforestation, bush burning. Yeah,
Okay.
those.
So Jovia, for when she thinks of human geography, she's thinking of deforestation. Christine, what do you think when you hear human geography? So when you talk of human geography, you're looking at the geography where man has influence, what man has put in place. You get it, Jovia? What man has put into place, the activities of man. Man can put in place a city, man can establish a road, man can construct a railway line, man can start mining, can put a mining center, man can start a farm, man can construct a factory. So all those topics under there, whatever man does on the earth's surface is what we're calling human geography. So geography is basically grouped into two. We look at the physical, which are naturally occurring, and then the human, that are totally man-made. Jovia, have you understood now? I said by the end
Yeah.
of this lesson, you must be able to teach your parents something. That senior1.org, they have taught us human geography and physical geography. So when you look at geography in particular, when you come to secondary school, there are things you're going to look at in detail, okay? When we study the geography as a subject, we're going to look at how are rocks formed, how does man, what factors enable man to carry out mining, to construct a road to a particular area, how does a city come about? The study of all that is what we're calling human geography. I think now we have understood. Now, why do we study geography? Why not biology? Why not chemistry? Why are we even in school? My goodness. Why? I want someone to give me their ideas. In the competence-based curriculum at senior1.org, we enable the learners to discuss. We give them chance. It is a platform for the learner to be their leader, to be their own learners. So why do you think we are rotating around geography? Why are we studying geography? Elijah, why are you on this platform today? Mokama, you're welcome. Why have you come to study geography? Is it because they scheduled it on the Zoom? Hey, why do we study geography, Nicole? I need to know, what are the possible reasons? Why? Already what I've said, aren't you already excited? Aren't you curious? Why are we studying geography, Nicole? Oh, yes, Smith. Smith, you have a beautiful name. Yes, Smith. Why do we study geography?
To develop
To develop
skills on environmental conservation.
Amazing. What are some of the things we do to conserve the environment? It is true when you study geography, we are going to teach you how to conserve the environment. But how? Smith? What skills?
For example, reforestation.
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 Amazing. So geography helps us to get those skills on how to conserve and preserve the environment. Beautiful. Yes, Jovial.
It helps us know how to preserve the environment, how we can prevent global warming.
Okay, Jovial, you mean when you study geography, you'll be able to study how to stop global warming. I like that word, global warming. What does it mean? Christine, do you have an idea what global warming is about?
Teacher, I think global warming is the constant heat during sunshine.
During the sunshine, you had it right. It is the constant heat. There's something missing. So it is a situation where the atmosphere is under a lot of heat, and there are some reasons why global warming occurs. We're having a lot of heat going on. A lot of heat is as a result of the destruction of the ozone layer. Okay, and what are the things that destroy the ozone layer? That layer that shields us from direct sun rays in the atmosphere is constantly destroyed whenever we dispose of carbon dioxide. So we need to study geography and we teach you how to reduce the supply of carbon dioxide to the atmosphere, because the moment you have carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, we are going to destroy the ozone layer. And when that ozone layer is removed, the sun hits us direct. That is why we have increasing temperatures. Christine, you had your reason why we study geography?
Yes, teacher. Teacher, I think we study geography to learn and teach people about the importance of physical features.
Amazing. So after this lesson, I want you to be able to go back home and you teach these people why we study geography. One, you said to start to inform people the importance of physical features. What are some of the physical features, Christine, that you know? And how important are they? You give me your answer, you defend it.
Yes, teacher, forests.
Forests, amazing. How important are the forests?
They help in rain formation.
In rain formation, we have their natural habitats for animals. We have some wild fruits coming from forests, among others. So when we study geography, Christine believes that she will be able to teach people the importance of preserving these physical features. Good. I need someone else to continue. Why do we study geography? What happened to the hands? They started hurting. There were so many hands up. Why do we study geography? In the new curriculum, don't you think they should remove it? No. So if they can't remove this one, why? Yes, Levin and Abigail. Why do we study geography? Abigail or Levin? I don't know who is going to talk.
We study geography to understand where things are found and why they are present in those places.
Beautiful. We need to explain why do we have some areas having mountains, others have valleys, others have hot springs, others have rivers. We need to find out why. And when the only way to find out is if you study geography. Why do we have some areas totally dry, others have a lot of vegetation, others receive a lot of rainfall, others are flooding. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Abigail. Any other reason? Why do you think we study geography? Elise, you're welcome. I'm seeing Giovanna. Giovanna, you're welcome. We are looking at reasons for studying geography. Yes, Chantal.
We study geography to do our future careers. There are some jobs which you need to study geography.
Amazing. Like which ones? In fact, that takes us to our next slide. So we study geography, one, to make wise use of the environment. We've talked about how best do we preserve the environment. Geography is going to give us the skills. You have not talked about this. You're going to be able to use a map. Use a map to go anywhere in the world you want to go. You're going to have to do field work. You go to the field, observe, record, and make those different reports. Give those different deductions because you study geography. It is going to give you awareness of other parts of the world. When you're in Uganda, you don't think other people in the world exist. But if you study geography, we can be able to study about other parts of the world because we're looking at it as a globe. Okay, Philip is saying it helps learners to understand fieldwork methods of field work. When you go to the field, what do? We observe, we measure, we study, we record, we draw sketch maps, and that is only possible if you study geography. Okay, then as you're doing field work, you're doing it as a team. Okay, and you're going to learn values of teamwork, respect, cooperation. It is all possible if you study geography, especially through this platform of senior1.org. So Isabella, I think it was Isabella who mentioned the careers in geography. When I study this geography, parents can discourage you. Those are arts. But amazing to your surprise, we have so many careers in geography. So when you study geography, what can you become? Who can guess? What are the possible careers in geography? Yes, Chantal.
A geography teacher.
Like who?
Like you.
Like teacher Druscilla. Okay, you
Yeah.
can become a geography teacher. Amazing.
A tour guide.
A tour guide. Beautiful. What are the careers? What are the careers in geography? So let's look at this. Christine, what do you think? Why do you think we study geography? Are you looking at all those beautiful, very many careers? Did you know that when you study geography, you can become all this? Oh, you are not aware. I'm informing you now, my dear students, that geography is that rich. Study geography, you can do something with the weather. You can become a climatologist. You have people working at the weather forecasting center. You can become a meteorologist. Who is a meteorologist? What is meteorology? Do you have meteorology in Uganda? So when you study geography, you can do something to do with the weather. You can become a climatologist. You can do the weather forecast, those for predicting the weather, predicting that today it's going to rain, tomorrow it will not. Those are the weather forecasters. Do you have a meteorologist? What do? They also study weather. And so, so do we have a meteorological station in Uganda? Do we have where weather and climate elements are studied? Yes. Christine, where are they found? Do you have meteorology in Uganda? Yes, Nicole?
At airports.
The airport. So we have a meteorological station. So when you study geography, you can go and study how clouds are formed, rainfall. You study everything to do with weather and climate, and this aligns under the Ministry of Water and Environment. So there is a good job there. So you can do, as you study geography, you master in climatology and you become a meteorologist. Okay, so for those of you that have not yet figured out who to become, there's a slot there. When you study geography, you can do teaching and you enjoy it, like I'm doing. You can become a teacher in primary, secondary, or at university, or you teach about environmental education. You can do things with the environment, how to preserve, recycling officer. You can become a cell conservatist. You can become a conservation. You teach people how to conserve the environment generally. You can venture into development. How do you develop as an international worker, as an economic person? You can talk about geoscience. You can look at geologists. Who is a geologist? Hydrologists, geophysicists. These bombastic words are, all these careers are amazing, but only if you study geography. Who is a geologist? Christine, what do geologists do? Christine, what do you want to become? There is a geologist here. What do geologists do? Yeah, Christine. So what do geologists do? When I talk of a geologist, a hydrologist, what do they do? Any idea? Yes, Christine. Did you just forget the hand up? What do geologists do? Yes, Levine and Abigail. What is geology? Who is an hydrologist? All these are new terms to you. Hey, just study geography and you'll enjoy the meaning. Yes, Abigail?
A geologist is a scientist who studies earth processes such as earthquakes, landslides.
Yes, someone who studies earth processes, someone who is studying to become a geologist is going to study things to do with how organs interact with the environment. You're going to study the earth and its land, the solids, the liquids, the fossils, and the rocks and the soil. You become a geologist. In geography still, you can study geography and you do something to do with maps. You can become a cartographer. A cartographer studies maps. This is someone who draws maps. You can imagine being there and anything to do with drawing maps, they consult you. In Uganda, when I was in university, we had only one cartographer in Uganda. So you can become a cartographer. You can do something to do with land. Okay, you can become a land surveyor. In Uganda, land surveying is a very good and earning job. You can become, someone can work in the tour and travel industry. You can work in that. So there are quite a number of careers you can do in geography. If it is about building the environment, you can become a commercial surveyor. I want to discuss, look out for the economic potentials. Who is this area? Yeah, the soil is here good, suitable for constructing a house. You become a residential. A property manager, you can plan for a town depending on the size and location of the area given the relief. So all those are possible if you study geography. And very many, if I told you to pick one, wouldn't you get confused? Abigail, if I told you to pick one career here, if they told you, you know what, you're supposed to pick one, which one would you become? Yes, Abigail, which career would you pick after studying all the geography? Where do you think is your interest? I've mentioned all these.
Geography.
Geography. When did you pick
cartography?
One? Cartographer. Amazing. And you'll be highly sought after, by the way, because you don't have very many cartographers in Uganda. So you'd study cartography. Amazing. You can do a diploma, a degree, and you work in the Ministry of Lands. Jovia, where would you fall?
So first tell me what colostrophy modular does.
Huh?
What does a colostrophy modular does?
A colostrophy modular. Where have you seen that one?
On risk.
It is catastrophe modeler. It is still someone who draws. It is in line with a catastrophe. Okay. Now, a catastrophe is a natural occurrence that causes negative effects. And so, if I'm to detect that there's going to be a landslide, I'm the one to tell. I look at the soil, the strength of the soil, the nature of the rocks, and you're able to model, figure out, tell, inform people, warn them. You're in charge of catastrophic events. Have you understood that?
Yes.
Yes, you're going to be the ones to deal with. I'm going to look at an area and I know if this area is a highland or it is a steep slope, what are the possible catastrophes? What are the possible negative things that can happen? It can be a landslide, it can be soil erosion, it can be a mudslide, it can be a rocks. So that is what a catastrophe modeler does. Understood, Jovia?
Yes.
Good. So you want to become that? Please go ahead. It is good. So now in the new curriculum, geography has been put into 9 beautiful topics. Okay. So when I talk about geography in the new curriculum, I think today we have actually done the first topic. That is introduction to geography. Haven't we studied it? We have defined it. We have looked at why we study it. We have looked at the branches. We have looked at the different careers. That is about introduction. So after introducing you to geography, we shall go ahead and look at how do we study geography. That is another topic. Okay, so we shall look at the methods of geography. How do we study geography? Then we shall look at the maps and how do we use maps. I think all of you have seen maps before. No? So what is a map and how do we use it? So under this topic, we shall look at a map. What is it? Can we draw a map of an area? What are the qualities of a good map? You know, what are the scales, the use of the compass, the scale? I think these things you did in P7, didn't you? If you did, then what is a map and what are the qualities of a good map? Quickly. Hey. You didn't study social studies? What is a map? The qualities of a good map, because we are going to also do it in secondary school. Yes, Isabella.
A map is a representation of an object as seen and drawn from above.
From above. And then what are the qualities of a good map? Christine. Hey, who hasn't said anything, by the way? I'm talking to the Joel. What are the qualities of a good map?
A good map should have a key.
A key. I want 4. A key.
A title.
A title. Good. I want 4.
A scale.
A scale. Nice.
A boundary.
Boundary. Beautiful. So we are going to do exactly that. Others whose hands are up, we still have many topics I'm going to look at. So we are going to look at how do we use a map to locate a place? What are the qualities of a good map? You know, that is what we are going to look at. A scale, we shall go ahead and look at showing the local area on the map. Can we be able to locate a map using grid reference? There are things we're going to look at. Then later we shall look at climate and natural vegetation. Remember, there are 9 good topics. Climate, under climate and natural vegetation, we shall look at the types of climate, you know. We shall look at what the effects of weather, the elements of weather, you know. So what are some of the elements of weather? People whose hands were up before, because that's also another topic, climate and natural vegetation. Under there, we shall look at weather. Elements of weather. I saw someone called Lucy on this group. What are the elements of weather? I saw a Lucy somewhere on this group. Lucy,
Yes.
Yes.
Elements of weather.
I want all of them.
Sunshine.
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 Rain.
Rain, nice.
Wind.
Wind.
And clouds.
And clouds. So we are going to look at all the things in detail, the types of clouds, the wind, how do we do the wind systems? What are those wind systems? In geography, we are going to look at all that in senior 1. Okay. The earth and its movements. Does the earth move? Does the earth really move?
Yes.
What do we call the movement of the earth? What are the movements of the earth? When I talk of the earth and how it moves, what are the things I'm going to look at? Someone could be interested in that. Hey, this is how interesting geography can be. Yes, Giovanna.
I think resolution.
Resolution, there is
Revolution,
revolution,
sorry.
not resolution. Thank you, Giovanna. Revolution is when the earth moves around the what is revolution? Giovanna. When the earth revolves, what does it revolve around? Is it around the sun? Is it around its axis?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure. So revolution is when the earth moves around its axis. And how long does it take to make a complete revolution? How long does it take the earth to make a complete revolution? Yes, Jovial?
365 days.
165, that is what makes up a year. And the movement of the earth around its axis gives us the changes in the seasons. That's why we have some places having winter, summer, which other seasons do we have? Spring and autumn. Okay, so we are going to study that in our senior one. Just keep at senior1.org. All these amazing details you will get. Then we shall go ahead and look at the relief regions of East Africa. When I talk of relief, what comes to your mind? Relief regions of East Africa. So we shall see how the earth moves around its axis, how it moves around the sun, how does it bring about day and night. All is happening in geography. So when I talk of relief regions of the earth, relief is the physical appearance of the earth. So when I look at that earth, I'm seeing valleys, I'm seeing mountains, I'm seeing plateaus, I'm seeing plains. So we shall look at the relief generally, the appearance of this earth and how these mountains, these relief features or the landforms are formed, okay? The processes under their volcanicity, faulting, that is what we are going to do in geography in senior one. So be ready for a very beautiful and interesting journey in geography. Now, in our new competence-based curriculum, how do you think we're going to teach all those things? Who has an idea? Those that are already in senior one, how have they been teaching you? Can I hear from you? Who has an idea of how geography is taught in the new curriculum? Yes, Joel. If you're already in school, how are they teaching you? Is it the teacher comes and talks and talks and talks? Talks. Oh, what is happening? Anyone that is already in senior want to tell us how they're studying their geography? Yes, Redmi, you're welcome. I hadn't heard from you.
We are in groups.
You're studying in groups. Beautiful. How else? Which school is that, Redmi?
Mbara High.
Mbara High. Nice. So Timon, for Timon, they take them around the school. This is beautiful. So they also do geography around their school. That's how they also study it. Good. Christine, how are you studying your geography in secondary school? So that those ones who are just joining can know.
Teacher, through practical skills.
They do practical skills. So what practical skills do you do?
Yeah, like farming.
You do farming. Nice. So if it's a topic of agriculture, you can go to the farm and actually do the farming. It's not just about agriculture as a subject, but even in geography, we have agriculture. And when that time comes, we take you to the farm. Good. How else do you study geography in the new curriculum? Yes, Christine, I think I've heard from the rest of you. And so in geography, we are going to embrace a number of Philip is saying they carry out research. Philip, where do you go to do the research? Philip, I want you to talk to us. How do you do the research? You get into a plane and go to some strange country. What do you do? Philip?
Carrying out research on the internet.
You can use the internet. Where else can we do research from?
The library.
From the library. So I can tell you to go to the library and do research. You can go to the internet and do research through field work. Oh, Joel has done field work. Oh, I'm amazed. So they are the same things that we're doing. We do field work, we do projects. I think you've not mentioned a project before. Now you're in senior 1, you're going to do projects. Actually, by the end of every topic at senior 4, you must be able to present a project, and that project will contribute marks before you write your national unit examinations. We are going to do geography quiz. That is how else we are going to teach you in the new curriculum. Are we together? So we have said we talked about field work. Which school do you think this is? Who can guess? We are seeing students at S.1 sugarcane plantation. This is a group of students from Namagunga. Giovanna, which school do you think? Namagunga is wrong, I was kidding. Which school do you think this is?
I think that's Nabingo.
Nabingo wear wrappers. These are skirts. So it is Namagunga girls. So in geography, we are going to take you to a field. You go to a field, you see them with books. You go, observe, record, draw maps, make reports about any geographical information that you find in that field. And that is what we call field work. So that is how we are going to study geography in the new curriculum. We are seeing students. Where do you think this place is? I see students in water. I see boulders. This is still field work, but where? This is Mobuku River. River Mobuku in Kasese. So in geography, be ready. You're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to be having those field trips to take you to a tour. But it's not just about having fun, but there's academics as well. You're supposed to look at those geographical features. You know, this is a highland. Okay, this is vegetation. Know how it was formed. How does this vegetation, the type, which stage of the river is this? Why do we have boulders here? Why are those stones? The stones are the ones I'm calling boulders. How come this part of the river is shallow? All those details are the ones you're going to do to gather geographical information. Am I still being heard? Jovio, are you on?
Yes.
Good. Good. Elise, I've not heard from you today, Banange. Elise, I've not heard from you today. I'm wondering whether you're fine. So we also hold class discussions. I think if you've been in primary, your desks were in a certain arrangement, but in secondary, this is how our desks are going to be. We are discussing one from one another, learning from one another, sharing and exchanging ideas. This is how we are going to be studying our geography. I think some of you that are already in schools, we see this happening. This is how our new class settings are going to look like. This business of you sit as if you're in, even in parliament, they sit, I think it is in church where they sit facing one side, one person. And so in the new curriculum, we are going to have to study like that. Then we shall give you projects. Hey, how do you think this person made these things? I'm seeing a volcanic mountain erupting. And we shall give you marks for this. These are what we call the projects. What do you think this project is about? What are you seeing in the picture? Having blue, this picture on our left. Which project is that? Hey, you're going to have to use the resources availed to you. Yes, Isabella.
Physical features.
Physical features, amazing. Which physical features are you seeing?
Valleys.
Valleys.
Mountain.
Meanwhile, this is a child's work. They have modeled out physical features, a collection of physical features. This is like, I see this is it is in a foil paper. Those papers used for chips and chicken. Someone real made something beautiful, physical features out of it. So as you're throwing away those foil papers, you can do something. You can model out something. Someone modeled a volcanic mountain. See how beautiful it is. So we are going to task you to do that so that you stop just imagining and then you draw what you are imagining. This is the beauty of the new curriculum. And this is going to be also possible at senior1.org. We shall give you those platforms to show us your projects. So someone mentioned agriculture. They go to the farm. We are going to task you to start your own car garden. Discuss the type of soil that you're seeing. Find out how fertile it is, and then bring the crops coming from that soil. So now that the geography of this curriculum is very practical, someone has molded out a map of Africa, so that you stop sketching. You can model it out on your own. Don't you think this new curriculum is going to be beautiful? Giovanna, I see your hand up. Giovanna. So that is how we are going to be teaching you. We are going to be teaching you using those various methods. We shall give you quiz, we shall give you projects to do, we shall give you group discussions. We'll engage you so that you learn from one another. We are going to give you field work to do, and you make reports, learn a few things here and there. For example, I have a project here. Who is going to read for me? I've talked too much. Who is reading for me what is on the screen? This is a sample of a project. A student just doesn't wake up in the morning and they start molding. We give you a question. Yes, Isabella.
An example of a class project. Topic: measuring and recording elements of weather. You are going to carry out a project to measure and record elements of weather around your school. You need information about the weather conditions on a daily basis. This is called a weather log.
So the project is creating a weather log. So I want to create a weather log such that every morning on a daily basis, whichever time of the day, you record weather informations on the conditions. Now that is a project. You can do it for full term and then they give you marks. The teacher can just look which day didn't you record, they deduct marks from you. Are we together? So that is a sample of a project. So the project we've seen previously, where a student drew a sketch map of Africa, someone did a sketch map of the physical features. They also were given a question like that. Then they went and dealt with that question and presented the result. The result in the new curriculum is what we're calling the product. So we want that practical thing that you have learned. So that is how projects are given. That is how the question is actually set, such that after you have presented your work, we assess you, we find out how many marks have you got. And how do we do that in the new curriculum? After you've gone for field work, through your discussions as the teacher has given you assignments and you discuss as an individual or as a group, we are going to award marks. And how are we going to award those marks in the new curriculum? Okay, we are going to give you an activity of integration or a project. So with a project or an activity of integration, those are all given every after a chapter or a topic. So when you go to school senior ones, when a teacher leaves an assignment, don't take it for granted. That activity, that project is one that's going to contribute 20% at the end of the 4 years. So don't just take it for granted. We shall be keeping those records for UNEB purposes. So what is an activity of integration? I think they've already mentioned what it is, not so? In the previous lessons, who still remembers how they defined the activity of integration? All the teachers before me have mentioned the activity of integration, what it is, what it contains, what it entails. What did you understand by the activity of integration? At least with the project we've understood. What about the activity of integration? Yesterday in physics, I remember you mentioned it. Which student understood what an activity of integration is? Yes, at least someone really attended and they still remember. I'm glad. Yes, Joel. What is an activity of integration?
An activity of integration is an activity carried out to assess whether the learner can apply the knowledge of the topic in daily life.
Beautiful. So we are analyzing if the learner has understood the topic. And after understanding that topic, can you apply it in your daily life? That is what an activity of integration is about. So we are going to give you questions that find out how you can apply what you have studied in that topic in your daily life. Okay, and that is what we shall call our. Thank you so much, Joel. I'm so proud of you. Now on my screen I'm having a sample of also how an activity of integration is about. I want someone to read for us. It is under the topic, this topic we have looked at today. In fact, I want you to go back and you do it. This topic, who is reading for us? After today's lesson, I've given you an activity of integration. I need to know whether you can apply this. Yes, Abigail. Yes, Abigail. Abigail, you are reading for us. Who is reading for me what is on the screen? How an activity, because I've given you one. At the end of, we have introduced geography. What activity of integration have I given you? I want someone to read for me. Yes, please.
Shall let me read?
Yes, Chantal.
An example of an activity of integration. Topic: Introduction of geography. Imagine your friend has completed high school and among the subjects he or she studied is geography. He or she needs your advice on the occupations he or she can engage in. Write a letter advising he or she on how he or she can use their knowledge and skills learned in geography to earn a living.
Okay, so thank you so much, Chantal. After reading, after today's lesson, I think I've talked about the possible geography skills you can get, the geography skills that you can use to earn a living. I want you to go back home, sit down and write that letter informing that friend of yours that because you have studied the lesson, there's someone who hasn't attended this lesson, okay? So clearly, I want you to do that activity and submit to our platform, our website, our Google Classroom. So that is how in geography, this is how we examine using the activity of integration. We give you a question that needs you to relate with the environment. Okay. So at the end of senior 4, when you have done your activity of integration, either a project, whatever that contributed you 20%, then you'll sit for national examination. I think you said at the end of primary, which examinations did you sit? At the end of primary, you sat a set of exams. Yes, Isabella, which exams were they?
Primary living examination.
Good. So even here, at the end of 4 years at senior 4, you're going to sit Uganda national examinations, and those ones will contribute 80%. So the other 20 we shall submit, and then they'll mark, and then you get 80 out of 80%. So that is basically how we examine geography. It can be a field work, it can be a project, it can be through your class discussions. Those exercises they are going to give you, take them seriously. Okay. Otherwise, I thank you so much for being part of today's lesson. I am going to continue taking you through the geography lesson. You become that catastrophe modeler, that is Jovia. Now she has 2 careers to take on. You can become that cartographer, you can become that teacher you want to become by studying geography. You can become a real estate agent, a land surveyor, a tour guide. All those things are going to be possible if you study geography and we at senior1.org are going to give you the platform to do all that, to look for those skills out of you. We are going to give you the assignments. We are going to give you the career guidance. If you reach out to us on our website, that is on the screen, okay, on our email, simply tell others to join in. Thank you so much for attending. Mr. Dumba, do you have anything to say?
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes, please, Isabella. I welcome questions now.
This work you wanted us to do, will you put it on the Google Classroom?
I am going to put it there, my dear. You'll find it. Don't have to worry.
Okay.
Giovanna, you have a question?
Teacher, how can we join the Google Classroom?
When it is already active?
No, like how can we join the
How do you
classroom?
join Google? Do you have a phone? Yes, you do. You go onto your Play Store. Do you see the Play Store? Do you have the app on your phone?
Yes, I do.
If you have the app on your phone and then you click join, does it work?
I've not tried. I just downloaded the app.
If you downloaded, yes, if you download that app and you open it, there is a plus on your right hand corner at the bottom.
Yes.
When you click onto that plus, it will bring you create or join class. Then you join the class. You click join, then you put the class code. The class code is going to be put into your WhatsApp group so that you are able to join and then access all the notes, all the work we are giving. Abigail is wondering.
Thank you.
Yes, Abigail, they're
Teacher
supposed to do my
Druscilla.
activity of integration. Thank you. Yes, Mr.
Teacher
Dumba.
Druscilla.
Yes, please.
Good morning and thank you for this lesson.
You're welcome.
The first thing is, can we please correct the number on the slide?
Okay.
This the second number. And then you can put, can you please make Mr. Wall a host or co-host?
Let me make Mr. Wall. Okay, sure. I have done that. Mr. Wall is on board.
Yes, Mr. Wall. Good morning, Mr. Wall.
Yes,
You
Mr.
there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, will you please tell Druscilla the right number, because I see that there is an error on the number.
Okay.
The contact,
It
the
is
MTN contact.
it is 0773
0773
68
68
82
82
89.
89. So the problem was with the 3.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then also, the classroom code is SC, the Google Classroom code. Druscilla?
Yes, please.
The Google, would you please the Google Classroom code on that slide, which is SC.
SC, small s.
QQ.
QQ, SCQQ.
PQ.
PQ.
5.
5. So
Yes,
it is
please.
SC. I beg your pardon. It is S, small s.
SC.
SC. QQ.
QQ.
Yes.
PQ.
PQ.
5.
PQ 5.
5. And then share, please share that on the.
Thank you.
On the chat.
It's SC.
Even on the screen here. And share that in the chat and on the screen.
P5. Mr. Dumba, are the Q's small or big? Capital.
Would you please share what you've typed?
Share. That is what I've typed. Can you see it?
Not yet shared.
Okay, it's coming.
Can you view my screen now?
Yes,
Yes.
but the contact has not yet changed.
The contact hasn't changed. The contact hasn't changed, and the Google Classroom code isn't. It's 773.
Yeah.
Then the SCQQ PQ5.
PQ. Okay. I think that is okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Mr. Board, do you have anything else to share?
No. I wanted to thank our teacher of the day, Madam Druscilla. Thank you very much for the lesson.
You're welcome.
We also would like to thank so much our students for joining senior1.org. Thank you very much for loving to learn with us. Please encourage your colleagues who are outside there that there is a lot of learning with senior1.org. More and more of these lessons are coming. Just continue following us and inviting other students. That's what I have. And maybe I can also encourage you learners to join the Google Classroom. The code is on the screen. Do the assignments. Our teachers will be giving you feedbacks and will be marking you. Thank you very much. Mr. Dumba, I give you the microphone.
Thank you, Mr. Obwa. I think the Druscilla can end the lesson.
All right, thank you so much, our dear administrators. My dear senior ones, you have made the lesson the most interesting. Please continue supporting senior1.org. Tell a friend to tell a friend that geography is the most interesting subject, that you can join us, and we have all the avenues to promote your talent, to cancel. If you have a problem, by the way, I'm the best at listening to those problems. Come, we cry together. Okay? Thank you so much. I want someone to give us a closing prayer. Closing prayer. It was a lady that blessed us. I want a gentleman. Philip, bless us with a prayer. Yes, Joel.
Let's pray.
Yes, please.
Our Father, I want to thank you for the lesson that you've given us. Thank you for allowing us to understand. Thank you for giving the teacher the knowledge. We pray that may you continue giving the teacher more knowledge to continue teaching us. We pray that even as we go for the rest of the day, may you guide us and protect us. For in Jesus' name we have prayed.
Amen. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, my dear. Well, let's have a beautiful day. Thank you.